What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to adapt in Rainbow Six Siege. Before we go any further, links to all my socials in the description below, so make sure you go check those out. Now, out of all the games you can play, Rainbow Six Siege is probably the game you will need to adapt the most mid-round. Now, that can be for any cause. It can be for one of your teammates dying, maybe your thermite gets impact tricked, or you lose your ace, or pretty much anything can happen. Lots of things can go wrong. This game is very dependent on everything going right, whether it be for map control or for utility clearing, anything like that. But today we're gonna be going over how to adapt mid-round and even in a bad situation, be able to pull out the win. Now, the first thing I wanna talk about is the operator you are playing. There are lots of operators that are better for adapting and lots of operators that are worse for adapting. You need to pick an operator that can kind of do a little bit of everything. An operator like that, in my opinion, would be somebody like Maverick, simply because he can hard breach all by himself. He can clear utility with his grenades, and he has good gun to be able to entry frag with. Somebody like IQ can play vertically with her breach charges or watch flank with her claymore, has one of the best guns in the game to entry frag with, and she has the ability to clear utility or vault cams or echo cams, anything like that. And then the last operator is going to be somebody like a Nomad, for she can watch flank, has good guns, play vertically. Pretty much people that can do kind of a little bit of everything. Not somebody just like a thermite, in my opinion, whose main job is open the wall. And if he can't open the wall, he doesn't really have anything else to do. He doesn't have anything else to bring with him. Now, after that, we're going to be talking about the push. This is mainly going to be geared toward the attack, simply because on defense, for adapting, you mainly just need to play more passively, or really depends the situation. If you're down in the man count 4 or 5, and there's maybe a minute left, you play more passively, you hold more angles. If you're down 3-5 and there's 2 minutes left, you go for a flank, you try and even out the man count. You need to get risky because your roamers are dying and you can't let the attackers have 2 minutes to sludge, Buck, Sophia, Ash, Ace, Maverick, whatever it may be. Use all that time to build up their final execute onto the site. You need to disrupt their process. And like on the opposite for the attackers, when you have more time, you are able to adapt more. You're able to do more things rather when you have less time. If you have less time, it really is going to come down to, okay, what have we been working on this whole round? Okay, we got this wall open. We're going to need to funnel through this wall and this door and either try and kill everybody or kill this one person, then go for a plant, then everybody watches an angle, something like that. Now, going on to the push, you really need, this kind of goes from phase 0, the prep phase, of when you decide where you want to push, what your goal is, and then how you're going to get that done. Obviously, if you're on, let's say, consulate, and you're trying to do a push garage, if you lose your thermite, your ace, your Habana, your Maverick, you're not going to be able to get the wall open, the garage wall open, so your plans are going to need to change. You're probably going to need to rotate to a backside push, where you mainly play the soft hashes, play down the staircase, open up the walls, and that's mainly what it's going to be. It really comes down to having how much intel you have. If you are down and you know exactly where everybody is, or you know how many smokes there are left, or where the maestro cam is, or things like that, it's going to be a lot easier to adapt because you have that intel to go off of, which mainly is going to come down to your droning, maybe even an IQ, something like that, that you do when it's a 5v5 or a 4v4, when pretty much the playing field is even. If you have more time, you obviously can gather more intel. If you have less time, you will not have that luxury of having all that intel, and you're just going to need to try and make something happen the best you can. The next thing is going to be about your map control. If you have a garage wall open, basically what I feel like a lot of people do wrong is they spend their whole round doing one thing. For example, getting garage wall open. And then it's like, okay, there's 30 seconds left and we're down in a 2v3. Let's try and funnel down spiral stairs or yellow stairs, something like that. You need to go off of what your goal was and what you've accomplished. You can't be like, it's very difficult to switch the entire plan when you've already used your utility to put one plan into motion. If you use all your flashbangs, your Ash charges, and your Zofia to, let's say, clear maestro cams, open up the garage wall, and clear like a Goyo shield or a Malusi Banshee, with 40 seconds left, you can't switch the entire push and expect it to work because all your utility, all your manpower, all your effort has gone into a certain type of push. You can't switch that up. Now, there are going to be some instances where you don't have that push. For example, the garage push analogy or example where your thermite died, then you can't just push the garage because it's not going to work. But mainly, it's hard to say like this is how you adapt every single time. These are the factors you need to look for. If you have an operator that can do a lot of everything, then if your sledge dies but you have breaching charges, you can still place some verticality. If with your main push, if you get the garage wall open, then you're going to be able to funnel through that if you need to, or that's where you're going to want to target your last bit of utility towards that push. For your map control, anything you have, if you have top floor and middle floor, but you're trying to get ground floor, then you need to play vertically. If you are that IQ and you have those breaching charges and you use your scanner, you're going to need to be playing a little bit more vertically, kind of switch what your main goal was as an operator to help the team. And finally, bring it on to the last point, which is your overall goal. If your goal is to plant or to play for kills, you need to establish that so everybody knows that, and then kind of just basically you need to draw up that plan. If you used all your utility to set up for a garage push, you can't say at the last minute, okay, let's rush down Visa stairs, because the likeliness of that working is low, because they might have a castle barricade over there, some barbed wire, a goo mine, a Malusi Banshee, anything like that. And the defenders are going to be easy to pivot over, and you have nothing to deal with that utility. Rather, on their garage hold, which they were all set up for, if you cleared that whole thing, when you go to push in, it's going to be a lot easier to take and win. But that's pretty much all to say for this video. If you learned something or enjoyed, remember to like and subscribe. All my socials are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and peace out, gamers.